Hey, shalom, shalom, mishpocha. Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings, where today I'm going to continue these thoughts about tzitzit, specifically dealing with the Techelit, the blue thread. Many Orthodox Jews will only wear white tzitzit to remind us that the temple has been destroyed and we can't fully fulfill all the commandments. But now, since the blue dye of the snail and some say the fish have been found, the blue dye, the Techelit, is now being more common and prominent, even amongst the Orthodox Jews, wearing it among the tzitzit. There's some people, especially believing Orthodox Nazari Messianic Jews, who have a problem with the snail dye or the fish dye because it comes from an unclean animal. Hadrak Netzri Yeshua and or Manja, the modern Orthodox Nazari Jewish Alliance, our official stance in halakha on the issue is that we endorse and prefer the plant dye because it is a clean source, a kosher source, if you will. And the dye, it fades. The Talmud says it fades, and that's why the Talmud does not endorse the use of the plant dye, because they think if people see the tzitzit fading, they'll think that the glory of God fades. But people have worn this plant dye on their tzitzit for years and years, and it fades very little, almost undetectable. But if you wear the tzitzit all the time, you're going to be changing the tzitzit out faster than the dye can fade. So it's kind of a non-issue. But do we have a problem with using the snail or the fish for the dye, even though they are an unclean animal? Not at all. Why? For the simple fact, we're not eating the animal. The animal is rendered unclean for the purpose of consumption, eating. It says in the Torah that we're not even to touch a carcass of an unclean animal. We're not to touch the carcass of a clean animal if the animal dies of itself. If you are on the street or on the road or out in the woods and you see, a deer, which is clean and kosher to eat, or a cow, a bull or whatever, but yet it died of itself and the carcass is rotting, don't touch it. It's unclean. It's unconsumable. Same as if you see a bear or a badger or a porcupine or whatever dead on the side of the road, it's unclean. Not because you can't eat it, but also because it died of itself. If you touch a carcass of an animal, whether clean or unclean, that dies of itself, that is an abomination. That's what renders somebody unclean. So to use the skins of an unclean animal, an animal that's not fit for kosher consumption, is totally fine, totally okay. Because if you look at the tabernacle, one of the skin coverings was badger skin, and some translations say porpoise. People say, well, how could they get a porpoise out in the desert? They took all the gold and stuff from Egypt. They looted the Egyptians before they left, so they could have easily gotten this porpoise skin. Also coming in contact with traders and everything like that. But we tend to believe that it was more so a badger skin, because you could get badgers out in the wilderness like that. And the reason that it was a badger or porpoise skin was it made the tabernacle waterproof. It gave a waterproof effect because the holy furnishings were made of gold, and if any sea air or any water or moisture come in contact with the gold furnishings, it had a tendency to tarnish or corrode it even. So, I see no problem whatsoever throwing around a pigskin football, or, using a hairbrush made of boar bristles, or a pearl necklace, or even Techelit from the snail, or, the fish. It doesn't matter. Using these animal products is fine, as long as you're the one who's in control of that unclean animal's life, that you kill it, you process it. Not that it dies of its own and you just kind of scoop it up off the ground and take it and then use whatever. No, that's a no-no. So hopefully this cleared up some questions. I'm sure it probably provoked many more questions than questions that it answered. But people have been watching my tzitzit video lately and have had a lot of questions about the dye. I know the Karaites use the plant dye, and that's totally fine. We endorse that above everything else. But if somebody has the snail dye, it's not a big deal. It's it's not a big deal to us. So let's see. I think also, you think about in Revelation where the new heavens and the new earth and the gates of pearl, the pearly gates, it's made out of one giant pearl. Well, pearls come from unclean animals when you eat them or consume them. If you harvest what comes from them, such as the pearls, it's not a problem. It's a non-issue. You're not eating or consuming, what comes from the unclean animal. You're just using its byproducts, which is totally fine. Skin or pearls or even bone, what have you. So hopefully this answers the question that, can non-kosher animals be used kosherly? Absolutely, yes, I do believe so. So hopefully this answers the question about Techelit, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of comments and a lot of questions once I post this. So we'll talk to you later. Shalom, Shavua Tov. Bye.